within a relationship, the girl is essentially, she's going to make whatever is the best deal for her, right? So if you are the highest quality guy that she can get with the most connection, she's going to like you more than the guy who's a lower quality guy with less connection, right? But it's never apples to apples, because two guys are not absolute comparisons, right? So one guy here is a really good tough fighter, right? Another guy is very well dressed, like suave looking, kind of like smooth guy, whatever, right? Just guessing, who knows? Whereas another guy over here is like maybe artistic or edgy in some other way, right? So it's never apples to apples. But whatever the narrative that you are presenting to the girl, it has to seem to be, to her at least, the best deal she can possibly get. So if you do want to date, potentially multiple girls or have a relationship on your terms, all those kind of things, you fundamentally need to be offering a lot of value. And the less of your value or less of your time you're willing to give to her, the more of it you need to have, right? So a girl will take, 2 days a week with an insanely cool, amazing guy that she thinks is like the best ever, more than she'll take 5 days a week with a guy who she thinks is just pretty good, right? But there are limits to this, right? So, not to say I'm the most amazing guy in the world or anything like that, but usually I can keep, multiple girls very, very happy, no problem. However, if I don't live in a girl's city and I'm coming back like once every 6 months or once every year, it's unreasonable, no matter how cool I am, to think that she's going to wait around for 6 months or a year and not have sex with anybody. And I call it they'd prefer local dog meat as opposed to like foreign filet mignon, right? Because they make the choice because they're hungry. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you need calories, right? So it's about the quality of what you're bringing, but there still has to be enough of it. And you need to understand and try and understand the girl's needs, right? In any relationship, you want to give the girl what she uniquely needs. And so there are some girls that need, more attention or less attention. There are some girls that need more value or less value. But it's very surprising that the things that a girl needs and the things you're willing to give, they don't match up one-to-one. As in, like, the things that are the hardest for you to give are not the things that are valued the most from them. And the things that are the easiest to give are not the things that are unvalued the most. And so there's sort of an efficiency there, right? I'll give you kind of an example for my own relationship history, right? So I had, for years, basically multiple long-term relationships. I was seeing, at any point, somewhere between usually 3 and 8 girls at any given time, oftentimes in various cities, travel around with them, have them come out with me on programs, different stuff like that. And then I got to a point where I was doing that, and one girl started standing out more than others, right? One girl started being like when I would travel with, I'd take one girl to a city and hang out with her for the weekend. It'd be amazing, lots of fun, lots of sex, like totally in love, great, amazing. But by the end of the weekend, I was kind of like, okay, it's been 3 days straight and you haven't left my side, and could you please leave now? Like, it's just a little much. Like, it's a little much of one person. And not that I didn't want to see them again. Like, I'm like, I'll see you again in a month or two. You can come out for another weekend, right? But right now, please, I need to be alone. I had a girl that when I would hang out with her for the weekend, I still wanted to hang out with her for the next week afterwards. Like, holy shit, what's this, right? It started to be better, it started to be nicer, and that was a really big indicator for me that I actually had really good compatibility, really good chemistry with this girl, and maybe, this is a girl I should keep around a little bit more. But at the same time, I am a professional dating coach and pickup artist. I need to go meet more girls, and also throughout my entire adult life, I've always dated multiple girls and slept with multiple girls, and I actually believe, this is my own personal belief, doesn't have to be yours, that that's actually biologically normal and for humans, and especially for male human beings, and healthy, right? And so I wasn't about to be, fully monogamous. But I could kind of have my cake and eat it too, because I understand the girl I'm with. I know what she needs, and I know what she's willing to not have and what she isn't willing to not have, so to speak. And as long as I'm fulfilling the needs that she needs, I'm making it a good experience for her on each and every level, then she can tolerate or even be endorsing and positive about me seeing other girls, which is, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about. but because A, the experience for her is so good, B, the narrative in her head of who we are is good enough that she's not worried that she's going to lose me to some other girl. She's not worried that she's not enough, those kind of things, right? And she's getting enough of my time and attention in the ways that she needs, right? If that's the case, then you can have some freedom and that kind of stuff. Beyond that, though, there's your own within a relationship and also within a date, right? You don't want to be on a date where your only objective is sex and you're trying to cater to the girl the whole time. You want to also have fun on the date. In a relationship, you don't want to be like bending over backwards for the girl to supply all her needs. You need to also have fun, right? So you want to also know what are the things you want and make sure that you're sort of taking care of yourself too, right? And so if that means that when you're in a relationship, you still want to go out and flirt with other girls and keep your game sharp because it's been such a positive experience for you, and you can do that without cheating, by all means do that, right? And by all means, you should be like, either the girl should theoretically be able to be okay with that, or if not, it doesn't hurt her and she doesn't technically need to know as long as she's not around because it's not a violation of any of the promises you've made to her. Does that make sense? But if you do get to a point where that's not enough for you and you'd have to sleep with other girls, then you want to make sure that you're in alignment and having a good kind of understood contract with the girl. I'm a big fan of honesty. I think you should be honest with whoever you're seeing, and you should have like a relationship based on health and trust, not on distrust. But if you provide enough and the girl genuinely understands you, there usually is a very good agreement to be made, right? It's kind of like if, I'm trying to think of a good example of this. If there were two businesses that make like complementary parts, it's probable that some kind of merger or agreement between those two businesses is right. You just have to determine the terms. The same kind of thing with a relationship. If you and the girl are really good together and you provide each other's needs really, really well, there probably is a merger that works really well for you, but you need to agree the terms. And as long as, and they don't have to be perfect. This is very important. The terms do not have to be perfect for both parties, and they probably won't be perfect for either party. But as long as the terms are better for the two parties with them than it would be with someone else, it's good enough and it'll work and it'll last. So that's what you're really going for in terms of kind of having your cake and eating it too. The first thing is you need to cook really good cake, so to speak. You need to make sure that you're bringing a lot of value, because the more of that you have, the more leeway you're going to have. And then you need to make sure that you really understand the girl, really understand yourself. And then do what it is you need to do. I'm not a big fan of completely leaving all parts of game when you get in a relationship, because you stop gaining in skill set. Oftentimes you start to be more needy within the relationship because you're not aware that you could meet more girls, all those kind of things. So all those positive momentum you had, you tend to lose. But that said, I'm also not a big fan of like cheating if you have a monogamous relationship. So find the positives you can still take and find the ways you can continue to grow when you're in a relationship, whether that be within just growing in other areas of life or growing in your skills with women.